So, after we've had a chance to discuss Lucia, who will be released in the upcoming version 2.3, of course, we can't finish the discussion without talking about another cool character that will also be released in that version. Yes, that character is Yidhari. Yidhari is a character with the second rupture role in this game. The main difference between Yidhari and Yixuan is that Yidhari has the Ice attribute, which is very different from Yixuan's Auric ink. However, interestingly, their kits are also very different, guys. In addition to the difference in attributes, Yidhari has a kit that can reduce her own HP, and the less HP she has, the more damage she deals. If you are playing Honkai Star Rail, her kit is similar to the popular characters Mydei and Castorice. So, without further ado, I'm Station and let's get started with the video. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 30,000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Before I explain more about her kit, I will first give you a rough overview of how it works. As I said before, Yidhari is a character with a rupture role. This means that her HP status is the basis for calculating damage when she attacks enemies. The higher the HP, the more sheer force she has. Yidhari's kit is different from Yixuan's. In some of her kits, she can lower her own HP to attack enemies. The less HP she has, the more damage she deals. We can see this buff in her core passive section, which will increase her damage by up to 80% when Yidhari has less than 40% HP. However, despite having a kit that can significantly reduce HP, she also has a kit that almost no other agent in this game possesses. Each time Yidhari lands the third attack of her basic attack, she restores 10% of her HP. Overall, her kit is quite interesting, isn't it? Next, we will discuss her core passive, which is important to cover first. For every point of HP she has, Yidhari's sheer damage will increase by 0.1 point. Also, all ice damage attacks dealt by Yidhari will become sheer damage that ignores the enemy's defense. When Yidhari enters the battle, she will immediately gain 60 adrenaline points. Obviously, this effect allows her to use her EX special attack right away. The most important thing about this core passive effect is that the lower Yidhari's HP is, the more damage she deals. When her HP reaches 40%, she will receive a special buff that will increase her damage by up to 80%. Isn't that cool? Anyway, this buff can be maintained for 5 seconds even when Yidhari's HP is above 40%. This lets us keep the buff for longer, even if we get healed by her kit or by other characters like Pan Yinhu, Asriao, or even Lucia. There's one more thing you should know about this core passive, guys. Unlike typical characters, Yidhari's disable points will continuously decrease when she uses skills, but they will increase when her HP decreases. So, we need to use kits that continuously reduce her HP if we want to quickly trigger her ultimate, right? Okay, for now we will try switching to a different part of her kit, the basic attack section. Yidhari can perform 3 basic attacks. The first basic attack is called Crushing Despair Strike. Yidhari will perform 3 attacks from the front, dealing ice damage. What distinguishes this skill from others is if the third attack hits an enemy, Yidhari will regain 10% of her HP. Anyway, the second basic attack is called Frostbite Embrace. To activate this skill, hold down the basic attack button. When Yidhari uses this skill, it will charge up and use up HP. The charging process has 3 levels. When the basic attack button is released, Yidhari will unleash a very powerful forward attack based on the previous charging level. dealing massive ice damage. The more HP Yidhari has, the faster she consumes her own HP, with a maximum of 25% HP that can be used up. After using this skill, we can also immediately press the basic attack button after Frostbite Embrace. This triggers the third attack of Crushing Despair and instantly restores Yidhari's HP. If we manage to trigger this attack, the damage from Crushing Despair's basic attack will increase by 30%. Isn't that interesting? And finally, for the third version of the basic attack, which is called Frost's Crushing Weight. When Yidhari is attacked while using her basic attack Frostbite Embrace, she can protect herself from attacks and reduce the damage she received by 20%. If she hasn't reached the maximum level while charging, she will block the enemy's attack and strike the enemy in front. Anyway, when this skill is active, we can keep attacking by pressing the basic attack button. Yidhari will then use the Frostbite Embrace basic attack on the enemy, based on how much charging she has accumulated. We can activate a special attack called Frost Race Crusher by pressing the special attack button. This advanced attack is selectable attack. We can choose which attack to use based on what we need. It can be a basic attack or a special attack. Next, we will move on to the special attack section. She has 4 versions of special attacks. The first version is called Mind Break. When you activate this skill, Yidhari will deal ice damage to enemies in front. And for the second special attack is called Frost Race Crusher. When cast Frost Embrace, hold down the button and press the special attack button. Yidhari will attack the enemy in front and deal ice damage. We can apply different statuses to the enemy while this attack is active. When Yidhari's attack hits the enemy, it will make them a Frost Race target. If the attack hits an enemy who is stunned, it will make them a Burst Crush target. When either Frost Race or Burst Crush is triggered, we can use basic attack Frost Embrace on the enemy depending on our charging level. The first version of the EX special attack is called Frost Coil. When Adrenaline Yidhari is strong enough and the special attack button is pressed, Yidhari will hit the enemy twice with an uppercut and activate Icy Mist, which will deal heavy damage to the enemy. This EX special attack is interesting because it restores 33% of Yidhari's total lost HP when it hits an enemy. This skill is reliable if you need a lot of HP quickly, guys. Then for the last EX special attack, called Glacial Crush. When the Frost Race or Burst Crush status from the second special attack is triggered and you have enough adrenaline, you can press the special attack or basic attack button to activate this skill. When this skill is activated, Yidhari will move forward and perform 2 slashes, one upward and one downward. This will cause massive ice damage. If Yidhari successfully hits an enemy, she will regain 33% of her lost HP. When this skill is activated after the enemy has the Frost Race, it will restore 20 adrenaline. Anyway, you can continue this attack with other skill, guys. You can press the basic attack button after this skill to trigger basic attack Frostbite Embrace. Of course, the level of charge determines the strength of this skill. Okay, next we will discuss the next kit, which is equally interesting. That is in the chain attack section. For her chain attack, which is called Frost Pact. When the chain attack is triggered, Yidhari will unleash a powerful attack towards the enemy in front and deal massive ice damage. Interestingly, her chain attack has an additional effect, guys. That is, when we are in either Veil Gushing Spring mode, Yidhari will summon tentacles to deliver additional attacks. Interesting, isn't it? Well, maybe some of you are confused here. What is either Veil Gushing Spring? Interestingly, unlike existing agents, when Yidhari reaches maximum decibels and is activating one of the skills from basic attack Frostbite Embrace, EX special attack Frost Coil, EX special attack Glacial Crush, or chain attack Frost Pact, she will automatically consume 3000 decibels and activate a special mode called Ether Veil Gushing Spring. So, what's the effect of this mode? When this mode is active, all members of the team will receive a maximum HP increase of 5% for 30 seconds. Additionally, when in this mode, the charging speed of HP consumption of Yidhari's kit will increase, making her kit more efficient and seamless. Interesting, isn't it? Also, her additional ability will make this effect even better, guys. But it will only work if Yidhari is paired with the stun or assist character. When Yidhari's HP drops below 50%, she will get a 35% boost in critical damage, and the damage she receives will be reduced by 20%. Also, when Yidhari has either Veil, Gushing Spring, she will gain an extra effect. After Yidhari uses the third charge attack from basic attack Frostbite Embrace or EX special attack Glacial Crush, she will summon tentacles that will immediately attack enemies every 12 seconds. Okay, now let's discuss her next kit, which is her ultimate called Final Act, Crossing the River of Regret. This ultimate is quite different from some others. To activate it, Yidhari must first have the Ether Veil Gushing Spring mode. This ultimate can only be activated once each time Yidhari gains Ether Veil Gushing Spring effect. When this skill is activated, Yidhari will attack the enemy and the area around them, causing considerable damage, up to 3000%. Okay, I will give you some extra information. The percentage of this ultimate is quite similar to that of both Yixuan's ultimate, which is around 3000%. Okay, now we are going to move on to her last kit, which is the MINDSCAPE section. In the first MINDSCAPE, Yidhari's EX special attack only requires 50 adrenaline per use. Additionally, after using an EX special attack with sufficient adrenaline, you can hold down the basic or special attack button to skip the HP recovery process and immediately trigger the EX special attack Glacial Crush against the enemy. This MINDSCAPE also increases the HP recovery from the Glacial Crush EX special attack by 100%. Finally, Yidhari's basic attack and EX special attack will ignore the target's ice resistance by 15%. The effects of this first MINDSCAPE are interesting and enhance many of Yidhari's abilities. Additionally, Yidhari gains a permanent effect that allows her to ignore ice resistance through basic and EX special attacks, which will undoubtedly increase her damage output. The second MINDSCAPE increases Yidhari's critical damage by 40% permanently. When Frost Race or Pursuit Crush is successfully triggered, Yidhari's adrenaline recovers by 0.5 points for 3 seconds. This makes the MINDSCAPE ideal for continuously triggering her EX special attack. Anyway, the fourth MINDSCAPE also has a pretty cool effect. When the team's HP is reduced, Yidhari gains 50% more disables. Additionally, while in Ether Veil Gushing Spring mode, the maximum HP increase effect increases by 10%. This will undoubtedly further enhance her sheer force. And finally, for the sixth MINDSCAPE, when Yidhari uses Decibels to activate Ether Veil Gushing Spring, she receives a special buff called Enlightenment for 30 seconds. When this buff is obtained, the sheer damage dealt increases by 30%. Additionally, if she receives her first fatal attack, she will not lose the battle and will immediately restore 25% of her HP. In any case, although this MINDSCAPE's effect is quite simple, it will at least serve as a safety net, preventing Yidhari from losing the battle due to her low HP. Honestly, her kit is quite risky when she is hit by an enemy's high damage attack. And finally, we've reached the final segment of this video, guys, which is her signature W engine called Kraken's Cradle. This W engine has advanced stat that can increase HP by 30%, which is certainly very useful for boosting her sheer force. Additionally, this W engine has a unique effect where when the user's HP decreases, the user's ice sheer damage will increase by 8%, which can stack up by 3 times for 25 seconds. The most interesting thing about this W engine is that when the user's HP drops to 50%, the user's critical rate will increase by 20%. Well, isn't that quite an interesting effect? Honestly, although the effects of this W engine are quite interesting, unfortunately, it will only suit Yidhari alone, at least for now. So this W engine won't be suitable for use by other characters, especially Yixuan. Okay guys, that's all for now. What do you think about Yidhari? Are you planning to pull her in the next version? Please leave any comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are no less cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy and see you in the next video.